one of those places was on set at the Today Show.
You weren't just on set. You were behind the camera. You were in the control room. I mean, you just ran the whole freaking show. Like,
I don't know why security let me loose, but they did. And I took advantage. The minute they were like, yeah, you could put the headset on behind camera. And I'm like, oh, okay.
How did that feel? Like, did you feel the power? Was there like power in your fingertips where you like, ooh, I can just press the buttons and
I was this close to being like, can I do the next segment? Can I just leave me here?
They probably would have said yes. They probably would
have
said yes.
I just would have had to pull my like video production from college of like pan this way. Like I have all those terms.
Yeah.
It just would have taken me a minute. I would have needed a refresher course before I felt good enough to go into a segment. But is there a place that you have ever felt in your years of covering news or sports that was like a really big moment for your career to where you were like, do I have business being here?
Oh, I mean, it happens all the time. They asked me to fill in co-hosting the Today Show. Like that is no business. Let me think about
that. Was last summer, right?
Last year.
I think you left.
Oh, Tahoe.
I remember you being like, I have to leave because I have to go co-host the Today Show. Super casual.
I'll be back tomorrow, though. Like, I came back. Like
you did.
I was so sad to leave you guys. But yes, that was maybe the second or third time that I got to do it. But yeah, like if they ask, I'm never saying no. Like I will move mountains, fly over the mountains of Tahoe to get back to New York. But I mean, yeah, my job puts me in places I have no business being all the time. Like the Oscars or the Grammys, like what? How did I get here? That stuff happens regularly. But it's like the trick in all of those situations, you know, people say is like, act like you've been there and then, but it's really hard sometimes. You're like...
The real ones already know how big a fan I am of CoverGirl. I've been using their mascara since I was in high school, and every single time I sit down to tape an episode of this show, I'm doing my mascara right before we start rolling. That's not a bit. I come at least 5 minutes late, and then I proceed to do my mascara. Now, what mascara is it, you ask? Oh, just the CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume Mascara, designed to max out every single lash. I got this mascara when I finally started purchasing my own mascara and stopped stealing my mom's. Starting in high school and going all the way to now, the only thing that I do consistently for my makeup routine has been this mascara. CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume Mascara is available in 4 different shades, so you can choose how bold you want to go. Very black, black, black brown, and brown. Also available in 3 waterproof shades. My personal go-to is the very black, not waterproof. It stays on all day, no smudges, no flaking, and it washes off super easy at the end of the day. Lash Blast Volume Mascara, only from Easy Breezy Beautiful CoverGirl. Shop online or buy at your nearest retailer now. You also just wrapped your 3rd season as a sideline reporter for Thursday Night Football this year. When I had Carissa on, your fellow Thursday Night Football teammate, we talked a little bit about the community of women in sports media. Is there like a group chat? What are you guys doing?
I mean, me, Carissa, and Taylor, my Thursday night sisters, we have a group chat. But like I feel really lucky, and I really do feel incredibly lucky for the group of women that work in that space and who I've been friends with for a long time and who we've gotten to like be on the journey together. Like I was at an event for the NBA a couple of days ago. Maria Taylor was hosting. And like when I went to ESPN in 2012, I first met her. She and I were both sideline reporters. And then like Laura Rutledge, who now hosts NFL Live on ESPN, she came on maybe a year or 2 after us. And like, we've all just like, we've seen each other work our tails off. You know, we've supported each other through so many twists and turns in our careers. And I think as women, and I don't know, maybe this is true for men too, but like for me at least, in each like chapter of my life, you need friends who are in a similar stage as you, right? And like I've experienced that to the extent of like my best girlfriends from growing up in Louisiana that I made when I was 7 years old are still some of my closest friends. And I'm so grateful that they've been in my life all of these years. But like, and the same is true for my girlfriends from college and so on and so forth. But like, as they've had kids and I haven't, you know, you have to, I've had to make new girlfriends, right? Who are at a similar stage, who are focused on their career or who, you know, or who haven't had children yet or whatever it may be. And so like, I feel very lucky that I have these long friendships with women in the sports world where we've just been through it together and then now can just be really excited for each other. And also like, you know, have conversations to compare notes or, you know, whether that be like actually literally about a team we're covering. Like Laura Rutledge and I feel like the last 2 years, we've both covered the same teams in the play. Like she's had a team in the wild card and then I'll have them in the divisional and then I'll, you know, text her and be like, what was the status of this injury for this player last week? Like if he's saying this to me now, what was he saying to you last week? You know, like I think we can help each other be better at our jobs and like cheerlead for each other. Like, and you know, you started this whole question off with Carissa and like, I am so grateful to her. She's been such a wonderful like teammate and friend. And we were friends before we were teammates on Thursday night, but like, you just need, you know, you need your girls at whatever stage in life you're in.
When you are sideline reporting, I think that this is one of the most like underappreciated roles on the field. I think that you said it, I'm serious, you said it earlier. You receive these guys, especially post game, whether it's positive or negative, you are like the first one really there to help them digest what they just experienced, which is
tricky.
Yes,
be tricky.
I can only imagine. Are there certain coaches or players that you know for a fact that when you talk to them, you're going to get a good soundbite?
Oh, yeah.
Or like, do you have favorites?
Of course. Of course.
Okay, who are they? I want names.
You want names. No, I mean, there are just like when it comes to coaches, okay, coaches, they get put in the worst position. And like, I just want to apologize every time I put a microphone in a coach's face at halftime, right? Like they do not want to talk to me and I don't take it personally. It's not about me. It's just, they want to go call, you know, figure out their adjustments and, you know, if they're winning, losing, whatever, like it doesn't matter. They don't want to talk to me. But there are definitely coaches who you can just, you know, will give you an answer to the question you ask. And so it's like, for me in those moments, it's on me. I think of it like, I'm not trying to ask these coaches like a gotcha question. I'm trying to set them up to actually help us all learn something about their state of mind as they're trying to win a football game, right? So like, if I don't get a good answer, a lot of times I'm like, well, I asked a bad question, you know, like that's on me. And sometimes it's like, nope, wasn't on me at all. Didn't matter what I asked. They weren't gonna, you know, and that's fine too, right? But I can be probably unnecessarily hard on myself in some of those situations. But all that to say, like, Sean McVay is incredible. Kevin O'Connell is fantastic. But like, these are also guys who, you know, like they're just, I think once you realize like, they're real people too. You know, it matters. And as long as they know I do my homework, they treat me with respect because they know I show up as prepared as I can be, I think. But like, those are two examples of guys that are great. Post game with players, when you're in this position of like, they've just had an incredible performance, right? Like, that's why I'm talking to you. You've just won a game and you did something exceptional. So I think it can be such a difficult spot for them so many times to verbalize their emotions, right? Like that is hard. I mean, you know, somebody like you have your fourth child and somebody puts a microphone in your face. Kylie, how does it feel? Like,
I'll let you know as soon as I can feel my undercarriage. Thank you.
Right? Like, you're like, what the?
Put that on national television.
Yeah, right? But like, it's so like they're put in a tough position too, in a lot of times, but I try to use as few words as possible, if that makes sense, in asking my questions so that I can just set them up and get out of the way. right? Like
Sure.
they're the goal. They have the goal.
I love the idea of you saying that you don't try to get, especially the coaches at halftime, on a gotcha question, because I do think that hearing feedback from my husband, hearing feedback from other like athletes in the NFL, to know that they can trust someone who's interviewing them to not try and bait them into a situation where they say something that ends up as like clickbait or a headline, or gets them to say something that they probably shouldn't divulge in that moment just because they're running off of sheer emotion, is like such an asset in your role, to be able to recognize like you want them to say something to help people learn. And that is like the best summary I've ever heard of a halftime coach's question. That's outstanding.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Earlier this past NFL season, you zip lined across the Falcons Stadium.
Yes.
Are you a thrill seeker?
I am. Okay, I told you about
Perfect.
my dad. I told you about my dad, who was a pilot, and like I
Yes.
grew up flying, with him in ways that like I'd be like, "Daddy, go faster," and we're like in his plane doing barrel rolls and flips in the air, and I don't even know how my mother could watch any of that on the ground. But yes, like it's in my blood, and that is what it is. But it's funny you bring up the zip line. So that was a Today Show feature story, and I get an email from one of our.
In the latest episode of the hit podcast New Heights, aired Friday morning, fans were treated to a very special and emotional moment when Kylie Kelce, wife of former Philadelphia Eagles player Jason Kelce, made a surprise appearance to celebrate their 7th wedding anniversary together. Amidst the smiles, family stories, and sweet memories, Kylie couldn't hide her joy when mentioning her and Jason's past marriage journey, making both the host and the host emotional. A sweet podcast screen size. The New Heights podcast, co-hosted by brothers Jason and Travis Kelce, is known for its fun, intimate style and often heartwarming family moments. But this time, the show was even more special when Kylie Kelce suddenly appeared from behind the scenes, carrying a small cake with the words, "Happy 7 years," decorated in white and gold icing, the colors of the Eagles jerseys. Jason,